Welcome, everybody, to LIPSEY'S Aim Higher podcast. I am Rob Aberzino. This is Jason Klossner. This is not Finley. This is Zack Kinsley from XS Sights and Andrew Gore from Smith Wesson. And SHOT Show 2024.
Man, it's been
Day one.
Busy day.
It's been a busy day, and largely due to these two guys right here.
Absolutely.
Don't sell yourself short. I mean, you guys had a big part in this.
Well, it's come together well.
Yeah,
it's all come together very well. So, welcome, guys. Thanks for stopping by, of course. And we just wanted to talk about the new Ultimate Carry gun. You know, we're not going to get into all the nuts and bolts of it right here, but we did want to talk about XS Sights and the role. VZ Grips was another one. We had a couple really great partners on this, and I'll let Jason kind of roll with this a little bit. But
well, Zach's part of this project was crucial because really the big key point of this whole deal was having usable sights on the J-frame.
Right.
And you really can't do that without a really great front sight. And XS, I mean, they're known for their, fantastic, carry type sights.
Yeah.
And when Andrew and I started first talking about this, we were talking about different options and everything, and XS was the first name that came in our heads.
Right.
And Zach jumped right on it. And next thing I know, like a week later, I've got samples of colors and heights and profiles. And I was like, wow, these guys are really on the ball. And honestly, Zach made it so easy from the beginning because we didn't have to fret over this. The sight thing was put to bed pretty early.
Really?
It was.
Yeah, it was. He made it really easy, and the final product has been fantastic.
What? So you guys really? So Andrew heads up the handgun
product manager.
For Sight News. I tried for Smith and Wesson. Really kind of started with you and Jason, and again, bringing on the right partners. So, what were you guys looking for in with like XS or the sights? Where'd you guys start brainstorming on the sights and the requirements and how you want it to look, so on and so forth, the functionality and aesthetics of it?
Well, we use XS sights on a lot of our other revolvers.
Okay.
So that made it kind of a default option almost.
I gotcha.
We've had great success with them. Zach and I had a relationship where we were talking regularly. He'd proven to be very useful in relation to, hey, Zach, I've got an idea. What do you think? And he was very responsive to that. So once Jason and I had started talking about it, I think the XS was really kind of the default that we just thought, well, that's ticking the box. Now, there were some color changes that we wanted, some other little tweaks that we wanted, but we spoke to Zach about that.
What color changes? Like what was original or
the original one was well, I'll let you. However you term it, green, yellow, lime.
Yeah, it was that kind of that optic yellow 365 NM.
I got you.
The problem with that is just it's extremely light. It's the most visible color in low light, so technically it's the best option.
Right.
But human eyesight and everything and how you perceive it, it just wasn't dark enough for the function that LIPSEY'S was looking for.
Right.
Well, and keep in mind too, especially with short barrel revolvers, that probably going to be shooting a lot of lead bullets. You get a lot of fouling on that front sight pretty quick, and if it's a real light color, it gets pretty, sudded up fairly quick.
Right,
and so we wanted something that would cut through that, that film of carbon and lead or whatever, as if you're having an extended range session. And that green that they came out with really popped. Even when we shot these guns, we were shooting them into the hundreds of rounds of lead bullets.
You're also dealing with that shorter sight radius too.
Yeah, so, absolutely. And so that color really just, in our opinion, did the best from several people who had shot the gun. So we were really happy with that. And having that dovetailed rear sight, there was some elevation changes and stuff that we had to work with. So it was just a really great combination. XS did a fantastic job with it and was real reactive to it.
What was your first thought when they brought this project to you? What was your reaction to that?
Hey man, I was told to send a box to somebody with a variety of things. That's pretty much what I knew at this point.
We left him in the dark.
All right.
I'm not going to tell you what's in the box.
I was hoping to get 2 or 3 minutes there, but that's cool. It's an acceptable answer.
Way to go, Finley.
Hey, we started connecting the dots a little bit and poking around. I knew the gun was actually launched before you texted me and told me, and Manu knew about it first.
Yeah, it was. again, it's one of those things where these projects are only good if all the parts that come together are right.
Right.
Because if you can have it 90% right and you put one thing in there that just doesn't jive with the rest of them, and it's not good. This was a natural progression.
That and timing too.
Yep.
Is there a change in the market due to wars, politics, and everything else?
Right.
And everyone's got production schedules going, and so we have to be able to react to all of that too. So when you start a project, it might get delayed, it might not happen. There's just so many factors that go with it.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, it's been this gun there's been a crowd around it this entire show, and the first thing you see picking it up, the sights jump off that gun, and I think we've done a pretty good job of capturing. If you go to any social media pages that we have, LIPSEY'S, you can really see how vibrant and cool looking it is. It's fantastic. It's a fantastic addition. So,
and that really is the thing when you first pick up that revolver.
Yeah.
Those sights pop.
Yeah.
And suddenly you're like, how did we ever do this before? I mean, it's amazing.
Right.
So it really makes a huge difference to it.
One question I know we got from some of the social media posts was, is it a different height front sight for the 32 versus the 38? And what we did in order to make Zach's life a little easier, instead of having two different heights of sight from him, Andrew and his team just changed the contour of the barrel ramp slightly.
Yeah.
So they adjusted the height on the barrel ramp, so that way we only have to source one part from excess, which actually makes production easier.
Yeah.
And it makes you don't get front sights mixed up and on the wrong guns or anything like that. So
right.
For all those that are asking, is it the same height sight? It is, but the ramp dimensions are slightly different for the 32 versus the 38.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I have to give kudos to the Smith Wesson engineering team. Jason was very specific in relation to the sight regulation that he wanted with the different ammunition types.
Yeah.
And so they were given that tasking, and to come out with that new dovetail rear sight that we have and the profile of it, they did a fantastic job. And we wanted to verify, so we went to the range and we tested those prototypes to make sure that it was exactly as LIPSEY'S wanted.
Yeah.
And it was spot on. After as Jason said, we shot hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of rounds of the full power defensive ammunition, which of course is not so fun. But I mean, we just went, it's spot on. We're good to go.
Yeah. We had 4 different shooters out at the range, and I knew we hit the right thing when all 4 of us shot a cylinder of the same ammo into the same group.
Right. Yeah.
There were 6. There was, let's see, on that 6-shot gun, there was 24 rounds of ammo that was in about a 3-inch circle at 15 yards. We're like, okay, we know that's 4 different sets of eyes and hands. I mean, we knew we had it.
This is one of the most rigorously tested guns that we've ever had.
Oh yeah, by far.
I mean, we've ever done. I mean, I guess bringing guys in and again, we'll get into that. We're going to follow this up with some more people involved in the project. But we really put this thing through the ringer. I mean, and it came out great. So.
Yeah, and you spec'd it out really well from the start on starting with the ammo. Because there's so much variability in that. So being able to dial it in off of that, there were a lot of variables that had to get tuned to it, but it was easier to go to that one target than just trying to cover the spread on the market.
Yeah, you can't do it, especially on a short barrel revolver, because I mean, you get some people grip the gun, gorilla grip it. Other people have a lighter grip. Some, and it's really tough because when that short barrel, it rises so fast that you can get a vertical shift in impact pretty quick.
Yeah.
And trying to be one size fits all, it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is the way these sights are, even if you decide, it's dialed in for 35s, but I like 158s. That's fine because even though the 158 shoot a little high, all you have to do is just sink that front sight deeper into that channel and that rear sight notch, and it drops right in. Likewise, if you're like, I only shoot 110 grain stuff, which shoots a little low at 15, you just hold that top of that sight just slightly out of that notch, and it's right on too. So you do have some adjustability just with your sight picture.
Yeah. Well, fantastic, guys. Anything else you want to add?
No, I think that pretty covered, man. I mean, again, Finley did a fantastic job.
Finley's great, man. We love Finley.
Hey, I want that last name scratched out.
And of course, Andrew. I mean, he obviously knocked us out of the park.
Yeah,
We're going to go into a much deeper Q&A and type podcast with Andrew in the future to answer a bunch of the questions. But this has been obviously the home run of our show.
Yeah, fantastic. And thank you guys. Appreciate you coming over for a minute. And you know where to find us, gang. All the at Lipsey's Guns on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and all the social medias. I can't even think of them all. And how about you? What's your social media? Your access sites, right?
Yeah.
Pretty easy to find.
You'll catch us on Facebook and Instagram. Mainly.
Yeah. And I'm guessing you guys can probably locate Smith & Wesson somewhere on the interwebs. So,
hopefully.
Yeah. All right, gang. Thanks. And until next time, aim higher.